Hey everyone, this is Derek here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the radically different user interface of the PUBG Mobile 0.7.0 global beta that was just released. The UI has been completely redone for this update, and I want to showcase exactly where everything is. We'll try to find all the differences. I'm not sure if we'll get there in this video, but if we don't worry, I'll definitely make a follow-up video. I'll also be making follow-up videos on this beta, what's new, what's changed. We have new scopes, we have new weapons, we have balance adjustments for weapons. So for all of that, definitely stay tuned to this channel. Now's a good time to say please subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those post notifications, that little bell icon, because that way you'll be alerted whenever I upload those videos, which will probably be in the next day or two. So without further ado, let's take a look around. I think we're going to start at the top left and we'll work our way around the screen, and then we'll see if we can find everything that's different or changed. So first we have the start icon. That's to start queuing for a match. That's the same as before. Underneath that though, something very different. So instead of having multiple drop down menus now to select your game mode, your perspective, first person, third person, your number of players, that is all integrated into this single button. So when we push on this button, it opens up this interface. So you can see there's still some Chinese here. Not everything has been translated yet, but do not worry, that will obviously be fixed for the final release. This is just the beta. So on the top of the screen, we'll work our way around again. We've got third person perspective and first person perspective. So that is where that option has gone. It's interesting to note that third person you can play classic or arcade. First person you can still not play arcade. So first person perspective, very similar to the Chinese version 0.7.1, you can only play classic mode. So that's that toggle over there. Let's take a look at the other toggle on the top. Only North American server. That's because this is the beta right now, and that's the region I selected. But eventually in the release, this will have all your server options as well as your ping, your latency for each server. So that's where you'll be able to select that. Classic is very much the same as before. You've got Urangel and Miramar, and you have your either solo, duo, or squad. So that's 1, 2, or 4 people. And that has been updated, of course, down there. It's no longer a drop-down menu. It's now an icon. And then auto matching is over here. So if you want to auto match with other people, if you don't have enough friends online, you want to meet some people, make some new friends, that's how you can do that. We've got a little flag icon there. Not entirely sure what that does. If you hit that, it just turns on and off auto matching. So next up, we've got the left side of the screen. Now let's talk about arcade first, then we'll talk about the left side. So arcade, we have a new mode, and this is only unlocked during testing between 1800, or it's between 0 and 4 UTC. So that's going to get confusing because of the time zone differences. But basically, if you know what your offset is for UTC or GMT, so that's like Universal Coordinated Time or something like that. Anyways, for me in the Eastern US, it is 6 p.m. to midnight. And in other parts of the world, you'll have to do that conversion. I'll try to do it for IST because I know a ton of you are on Indian time. So we'll try to figure that out together, and I'll post that I'll pin it or something, because I'm sure a ton of you will have that question. But it's between 0 and 4 UTC every day. So war mode is the new mode. We'll talk more about this in another video, but it's basically, it is a respawning mode. So it's kind of like a team domination, or you can play it in solo, duos, or squads. But basically you get points for every kill, you get points for every revive, and whichever team gets to the top first wins. You start out with a weapon class in the beginning of the game. It's a random weapon, so you either start out with snipers, SMGs, or ARs, and you start out with a random one of each of those. Except for sniper, it's just a Kar 98. So anyways, I'll get into that in more detail in a future video, but just know that it's an exciting mode. I am excited about it, and I'll definitely be bringing you some cool gameplay from that mode. So we've got war mode, we've got mini zone, which was introduced I think last update. We've got quick match, and then sniper training. Sniper training has 40 people, just like it did in 0.6.0, so that's cool. So I think that's it for that. Now we'll talk about the left side of the screen. Now you've got your room, so that's where room has been moved to. You've got training, that's a training mode, that's a training island, just as it was before. And then you have your tutorials. So all these guys have just been moved over to the left side of the screen so that they aren't as cluttery on the main menu screen. So that's kind of the point of this user interface, and it's going to take a little bit getting used to, but it's supposed to be more streamlined because as they keep adding features, it's getting busier and busier. You know, they added the Royal Pass with the recent updates that added some more buttons to push, and it's just getting cluttered. So that's why they're doing this. So we'll move our way around the screen again. We've got our friends here. So that's our game friends, recent team, synergy, add friend. That looks very similar to what it looked like before. Invite, you can see that the user interface has to be cleaned up a little bit there. They are getting cropped off by the start button there, but this is where you'll be able to invite friends who are online, but because it's the beta, I don't have any friends yet. We've got the emotes here. So emotes, you've got your quick 12, I think it is, that you can put over here. So you can see there they are, for better or for worse. The emotes are there. And if you want to manage them, it will bring you right to, it's like a quick shortcut to your inventory where you can manage those guys. So I'll show you that, but we'll also see it when I go into the inventory. So maybe I'll just click on it now. You can see what's happening. There it goes. It's just quick to that exact screen. That way you don't have to go around and hunt for it. So looks like you get 6 out of 12 by default for the beta, which is cool. We got some cool options to take a look at. Maybe we'll look at that in more depth in a future video if you guys want to. Season, this is your season ranking, very similar to what it looks like currently. You've got a separate ranking for third person and first person, as well as for solo, duo, and squad for each server. So you've got a ton of ranking, and those options though are all the same, so nothing's really changed there. Next up, we've got clan, which is not enabled on the beta. You've also got your crew, which I have not joined. You have armory, so that's very similar to what it was before, and you can see there's still some Chinese here. They haven't cleaned everything up or translated everything yet. The thing we want to take a look at, of course, is the new DMR, which is down here, and that is not the SKS, but the SLR, which is just a crazy cool weapon. You can see sights. We've got some new sights for these guys too. We've got a 3 and a 6 times. We'll talk more about these guys in a future video because they definitely deserve it. We've got our magazine. These DMRs can now use AR as well as sniper magazines, so that's really neat too. It makes them much more versatile. I think they're going to be a solid choice over ARs now, and I'll talk more about balance changes in a future video too, just because I don't want this one to be 15, well, it's probably gonna be 15 minutes. I don't want it to be 30 minutes or longer because people just tend to click off after a while then. So we've got the armory, we have our inventory. So this is similar to how it was laid out in the last update. You've got your full body suits there. You've got all your different attachable points for clothing. You've got your weapon skins. So those are cool. We've got, now there are vehicle skins. So this is something else that's new. So of course we have our plain skin, but did you know that there are actually skins available for different vehicles now? So that's something that I'm curious how they're going to implement that and how it's determined whose skin you see. Do you always see your own skin, or is it the highest ranked person like they're doing the plane right now with the skin, the highest person with the Royal Pass? So I don't know. We'll have to find out. You've got your parachutes, your emotes, that's where you were before, of course. There are your plain skins. So there they are. It's a separate tab actually from the vehicle skins. And then you've got skins presumably for your backpack now, and also skins for your helmet. So a lot of people were complaining that when you attached or equipped a helmet, you lost whatever cool headpiece you were wearing, whether it was the killer rabbit or the fedora or whatever. And now this is a way to add some style to your helmet. So again, I'm not sure if it's just going to be your own helmet or if it's, I'm assuming it's going to be your own helmet, but the vehicles is a little trickier. I'm curious how they're going to implement that. So if you know, leave a comment down below. So, and we have our loot section. So that's pretty neat. That's our new inventory screen. What else do we have here? We've got this guy, which is not enabled. I believe that's stats or statistics. You've got this is your daily login. We've got our daily missions and our progress missions. So we're gonna go ahead and just click those guys for fun. Then you've got your in-game mail system, which there's nothing there. No gifts given, no gifts received, nothing Next, we've got our settings. I'm going to probably do another video on what's changed here. Actually, I don't know if anything's really changed, so I believe there are one or two differences though. So what I'll do is I'll actually look side by side. I'll put one device on 0.6.1, one device on this beta, and then that way I can look at them side by side and make sure I account for all those differences. I don't miss anything. So we've got one little icon on the bottom there. There's the report icon. If you're playing the beta, please do help the developers out by reporting any bugs you see. One of the bugs I'm going to be reporting right away, and you don't have to do this one because I'm going to be doing it, and I don't want 1,000 people to do it, but is for some of the weapons. I believe it's some of the weapons only. So if we go to like the SLR, for example, and we go down to sight, you see how because you can scroll left and right, how part of the icon is cropped off. That's something I'm going to report, for example, and I'm sure other people already have, but it's good to get that out in the open so you don't have a silly bug like this. Doesn't affect anything, but you don't have a silly bug like this in the final release, because again, it only affects certain weapons. So if we take a look at the these guys, for example, one of the SL or SMGs, and let's see if we can find one that actually takes a sight there. See this guy, there's no scrolling, so everything shows up properly. Just stuff like that. Next, we've got our we've got our events, our daily events, which there's nothing loading right there. And then the shop is not enabled because this is the beta. So finally, we've got this guy, not Derek G level 1, because Derek G was already taken. Congrats to whoever got the name. And we've got our statistics, player card, basic info. That looks very much the same. And you can't even purchase UC, of course, because this is the beta. So I think that's it. I think this was the semi-quick 12-minute overlook at what's changed with the user interface, because a ton has changed. Like I said, I'll be definitely making videos on war mode. I'd like to talk about that. I'd like to talk about the new sights, the new grips. So there's a ton of content coming out, or there's a ton of content that will be coming out in the next week or so. So definitely subscribe and stay up to date with the channel for all of that. So my name's Derek G. If you found this video helpful, definitely give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps the channel grow, and I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed already, again, here's your reminder. It's always a good time too, because tons more PUBG Mobile content is on the way soon. So I hope to see you on the battlefield soon, either 0.6.1 or the new PUBG Mobile Global 0.70 beta.